Everybody know about Kim Kardashian, right? Okay. Just in case you don't know, this is her and her clones. So Kim K is well known for her makeup and her signature fashion. It is very strikingly generic that you can find her copies everywhere in the world. So actually, these ladies are from different parts of the world, from different countries, from different cultures. But now they all look the same, thanks to Kim with her makeup. What if Kim was an architect? Like her makeup, I guess Kim K architecture will be also a kit of magic element which can apply to any kind of environment without any constraint of religion, culture, or ethnicity. Well, I'm not a makeup artist. I'm an architect. But I feel like today, both jobs are quite similar. Why the makeup artist is making the same face, our global architecture is making the same cities. Take a look at this. This is the cities of today. Well, they look pretty the same, right? You can hardly make out which city belongs to which country or culture. They all look mostly identical. So that's why Ramkolas, the godfather of contemporary architecture, coined the term called generic city, referring to the city which make out of nothing. The city exists without history or identity or any context. And of course, in this city, the architecture is losing its role of reflecting the regional culture and local identities. It has become very homogeneous and totally our human scale. I guess many of you come from other country, right? So when you come to Hanoi, how many of you choose to have KFC instead of bún chả? Oh, not, oh, yeah, okay. You're too young. Anyway, I guess the majority want to choose bún chả, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm not against globalization or fast food, for that matter. I love KFC. But I don't think it's a good idea to replace totally bún chả by KFC. In architecture, the similar thing is happening. Architecture heritage is being lost. This is ToulouseIII in Ho Chi Minh City. ToulouseIII is transforming from a rural area into a Manhattan of Ho Chi Minh City. In exchange, 2 villages and 29 religious monuments have been destroyed. So the urban landscape are being redefined, and the rural scenario is also undergoing the huge transformation. The city is sacrificing its heritage to put on the developed city mask to celebrate the Kim K architecture. At the beginning of the 20th century, Herbert George Wells predicted that, well, soon we would see very little distinction between the city and the countryside. And in fact, today, 50% of the world population live on only 2% of the earth, which is cities. Yet, the rest of the world is still rural. That means the city's boundary is still changing constantly. And today, the sprawling of Urbanscape has confirmed Wells' prediction. The Kim K architecture is everywhere, replacing the village, the agriculture field. And the countryside is also urbanized and become generic. This demonstrates how urbanization gone bad. The photo was taken in a corridor of a residential building in an urban village west of Hanoi. Winston Churchill once said, "We shape our building, then after they shape us." But I feel like in Vietnam, it is the other way around. Well, we really give shape to our spaces. And the Kim K architecture in this case doesn't seem to fit so well. How to deal with the transition between the city and the countryside? That's the big questions. But the answer is quite simple. Why don't we just try to understand and learn from the past? This is my grandparents' house. It's also a typical Vietnamese rural house in the northern part of Vietnam. I used to stay there every summer when I was a child. And actually, I love this house because I can have everything around me. I can have vegetable, fruits in the garden, fish in the pond, water from the sky falling on the wells, and we saw it. And you have rice in the field. And so actually, one thing that I learned is the house is not a machine for living, as Le Corbusier put it. But the house is actually a self-sustaining organism. Production, consumption, living, working are literally in the same place. It is right? Well, so this poor-looking house is actually a perfect model of sustainable living. The second lesson I learned from this typology is the sense of community. The house is actually built around a courtyard. It's very kind of concentric. And the courtyard is very welcoming. It has more sense of public than private space, since the entrance is mostly open during the day. Anyone can come and just having tea with my parents inside this courtyard. And the courtyard is actually the place for multiple activities. Can be place for me to play football, for my mom, actually she's there, to prepare food. And it can be the place for learning, working, stoking, for having tea as well. So the courtyard is actually a generator of the community life. Why we don't try to learn from that and reinterpret it into the modern day requirement? This is my project. This is a model of new typology of modern collective house. In this model, I try to put 5 living units coexist and share the common courtyard in the middle. So this space can be the space for co-working space. It can be the extension of the domestic space, and it can be anything. So actually, this courtyard is helping to reinforce the social structure within the community. Instead of putting the gigantic high-rise building in the middle of the agricultural landscape, this prototype, I try to build it on steel so we can minimize the environmental impact on the soil. And it also can be multiplied, developed along the pathway in the middle of the paddy field. So it can create kind of spine which connecting and crystallizing the village cluster to forming the whole community. At the same time, the existing village and their architectural heritage are still preserved. Somebody might say, well, the generic city is actually not catastrophic because it's the most simple solution for the rapidly developing city like Hanoi, right? Oh, I partly agree with that, as women still need makeup, right? But I still prefer a very soft makeup, like just toned down a little bit, or you make your own makeup, and you can be beautiful by your own. That is why at AREP, it's my company, we have been working on a soft urban strategy that attempts to harmonize the crossover between the generic development and the rural environment. So let's say the idea is we have the mid-rise urban blocks as the soft makeup with very restricted height of 7 stories. You cannot build higher. And then this block is also mixed use, and it's very welcoming. You can see the courtyard were reinterpret into this model in the bigger scale. And we want to put the courtyard all the way on the core of the project. And the agriculture landscape is still preserved. By preserving the green corridor, the new cities will turn into a biodiversity oasis. With agriculture, production will be reinforced instead of erasing it. So actually, design can help to preserve the identity of the countryside. We always think about urbanization, the countryside is a bad thing, but it's not. It depends on how we do it. And this is a solution, one of the solutions. And still, we can preserve its identity and the variety of the countryside. This is 2 supermarkets, one in Paris and one in Hanoi. The thing that fascinated me is the one in the west looked more east than the one in the east. It is right. Well, actually, because living in the Western culture, the community of Vietnamese people try even harder to protect their identity. The identity belongs to the country that they left many decades ago. So you can actually find in this supermarket a lot of things that have been forgotten, and you cannot find here in Hanoi. So taking this as starting point, I founded MAI, as called as Mission d'Architecture Indépendante. It's French word. And it's a group of architects and urban designers and researchers. We are focusing on the idea of using architecture as the tool to raise awareness of people, and also to raise awareness about the diversity, about the forgotten culture, about the culture of the minority. And in the era of globalization, I think we should fight harder to preserve our identities. We should celebrate the diversity, the distinctions of the different communities, and to prevent the generic city from making us generic people. Thank you.